For what could be the final time this season at Lucas Oil Stadium, barring a home playoff game, it's time for Indy 11 soccer on My Indy TV and ESPN+. And for a third time this season, they face the Bethlehem Steel, two teams trying to lock up a playoff spot and could potentially do so with a result this evening and other activities around the Eastern Conference of the USL. Here is the playoff picture. The top four teams that you see on that screen have already wrapped up playoff berths. The teams that are currently between spots 5 and 12 in the East are still in play for a playoff position, and if the Indy 11 win tonight, they guarantee a playoff spot in their first year in the USL. With that as the backdrop, we welcome you to Indy 11 Soccer alongside Brad Hunter, Greg Rakestraw with you. The Indy 11 looked great last Wednesday in a 2-0 victory against Tampa Bay Rowdies, but ran into a buzzsaw in the league's best team in FC Cincinnati last Saturday night.
Yeah, it's been a buzzsaw that everybody's run into. You take a look at the number of wins that they've accumulated this season, it's off the charts. The last two outings here at Lucas Oil, though, the Indy 11 have been on point, and they're hoping for a repeat of that tonight.
However, when the Indy 11 faced the Bethlehem Steel back here in May 19th, it was the road team that got all three of the points. The Indy 11 would find the back of the net, courtesy of Zach Steinberger. That actually leveled the match at a goal apiece at the time. However, there'd be one more goal in the offing for the Bethlehem Steel. Prosper Shaluya with the long-distance strike to give Bethlehem a 2-1 victory. They are one of just three teams that has won at Lucas Oil Stadium this season. So the Indy 11 able to flip the script on Bethlehem back on Thursday, July 26th. McInerney with the header, one of his 10 goals on the season, and that win began a streak of 9 consecutive matches without a loss for the Indy 11. They would love to start a similar streak this evening. Two potential playoff teams collide in their next to last regular season game. Bethlehem Steel, Indy 11, and it comes your way next. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health, exceptional care simply delivered. Community Health Network. By Honda, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. By Turkish Airlines, widen your world. And by The Room Place, get it all at The Room Place. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health, exceptional care simply delivered. Community Health Network. By Honda, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. By Turkish Airlines, widen your world. And by The Room Place, get it all at The Room Place. We expect a fantastic crowd at Lucas Oil Stadium this evening. Could be the second largest in terms of attendance this year. Over 13,000 expected here at Lucas Oil this evening. Time now for the starting lineups, and as per usual, that man and Ioze will factor in them for the Indy 11. Our starters presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11, and Indy going back to a 4-3-3 this evening.
Interesting. You know, the season's life is on the line right now, and you could lock up a playoff spot tonight, and you go back with something new, but the team has always responded every time he's changed things up.
And of note, Jack McInerney will come off the bench in this evening's contest, Indy's leading goal scorer at 10 goals per game. For the Bethlehem Steel, what is of note, we're going straight to their keeper in Tomas Romero. He is 17 years old. Their two keepers that have played in all of their matches this season are actually the backups for the Philadelphia Union in John McCarthy and Jake McGuire. Neither are here this evening. This young man is making his USL debut tonight.
And his backup is 17. The combined age of their goalkeepers is about where Owain Von Williams is.
So there you see Romero. And of these teams that have a direct affiliation with Major League Soccer, as this club does with the Philadelphia Union, most other teams, we have seen them play 4 or 5 different netminders on the year. That's not been the case, but what a moment to make your debut at this level. Owain Von Williams, top 10 in the league in terms of saves and clean sheets. It's been a very solid first season in the States for the native of Wales, who has played most of his professional career in Scotland and England.
It's been great, very steady throughout. I mean, you've not had any spikes or dips in performance. It has been a level effort from him all season.
It does not take long for Eugene Starikov to hear that opening whistle and get us underway for the home finale of this regular season of Indy 11 soccer. 17th and final match for now at Lucas Oil Stadium. As of now, the Indy 11, with a win tonight, would wrap up a playoff berth, but their seeding could still fluctuate. They could be no higher than 4. And to catch the Charleston Battery in front of them, the Indy 11 would have to win out, and Charleston would have to lose at least one match and then do no better than draw another. So it is likely the Indy 11, if they are to make the playoffs, which winning tonight would take care of that, we're expecting them to be on the road for at least the first game. And then after that, you never know what might happen.
No, and that's the thing. You don't know what's going to happen at any point. So if you could get those 3 points tonight and have a little cushion and just worry about your seeding place next week, that would be ideal.
For what it's worth, when these two teams have faced each other earlier this year, neither side has scored a goal in the opening half. All goals have been second half goals, and the goal that was assisted on by Zach Steinberger and scored by Jack McInerney in the winner in Bethlehem on July 26th. That happened very late in the game. That was very much pulling 3 points out of what appeared to be a 1-point situation. Dylan Mayers, first time he has played against the Bethlehem Steel this season, because he was acquired by the Indy 11 in mid-August, and basically he has been in the starting lineup ever since he got here. And his arrival has coincided with this move into a 4-3-3 from a tactical standpoint for head coach Martin Rennie. Take a quick look at the injury report brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Pasher and Farg, and those are long-term injuries. We will not see those two players back this year for the Indy 11. But the good news is that the injury report has not been added to. Seth Moses did not play last week against Cincinnati after being a factor in the victory against Tampa Bay 3 days prior. But Moses back out in the 11 this evening.
And I tell you, it feels like almost a season ago that we saw Tyler Pasher. It's been so long. But he was so electric and so dynamic in the minutes and the matches that he played this season that you've got this pretty exciting feel like, holy smokes, you know, imagine if you can keep these guys together and keep this talent together, what this team would look like with the preseason and a year under their belt.
They're almost two different teams for the Indy 11, because the matches that Pasher played in were largely without guys that are on the pitch tonight in Eugene Starikov and Reiner Ferreira. Outstanding work done by Mares to find Iose with his right foot. He plays it across, and that's the first touch for the 17-year-old in Romero.
And you need that. You got to get that first touch. And even though it wasn't clean, it calms you down as a goalkeeper.
I can see Martin running. Was an outstanding job in his first year as the head coach of the Indy 11. Spent last year out of coaching after the previous 3 years were spent in South Korea. Before that, the head coach of the Vancouver Whitecaps in Major League Soccer. Guys like Matt Watson, Brad Russin have played for him before, making their way to Indianapolis.
It really has been a great job. You know, you take a look. He came in here with an idea, a concept, and he has stood strong in that. He got rid of some players that were loved in this city, but he had an idea and a philosophy of what he wanted to do. Didn't have a lot of time to put it together. Was able to find players that fit what he wanted to do, and he stood strong through the tough times, through the good times, and here we are on the verge of clinching a playoff spot.
You see Brendan Burke in his third year as the head coach of the Bethlehem Steel. This is the third year of the Bethlehem Steel. And again, these players train with the Philadelphia Union at their complex outside of Philly. Then they basically travel up to Bethlehem, about an hour away, where they play their games at Goodman Stadium, which is the football stadium for Lehigh University. Corner earned by Bethlehem. And taking said corner is Matt Real, one of the many youngsters on the field for the Steel tonight. He is 19 years of age. Couldn't look back post. And the player for Bethlehem had beaten his defender. That is Ferris Mumbanya. Although the roster just goes by Ferris. We're going to go on a one-name basis with him.
I'm fine with that.
Even if that's not the name on the back of the jersey. And you kind of had to look from that angle, the same angle that the referee did, because from our angle behind the play,
right,
a little bit nervous that might have been a penalty, but didn't look like there was much contact there from that perspective.
He did a great job of selling it, because from our angle it did look like that he went down with some contact, but clearly from the official's point of view and clearly from that replay, he was selling.
Rami Touchon, by the way, is our match referee tonight. Let's give you the keys to this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Let's start with No Moar.
No Moar, Santi Moar. He is the offensive juggernaut of this team. They've got some pretty balanced scoring, but you got to keep him contained. He is the leader in chances created, in shots, in goals, in assists, in points. Offensive sparks come through him. Also, play a complete game. We took a look at the last two matches here. Were probably the best that this franchise has had in their history. And if they can put a complete game together where everything's clicking, it spells good news for the playoffs. For Bethlehem, got a couple things. The first is you gotta lock things down defensively. And the reason with that is you take a look at the matches in the early part of the season. They had clean sheets in 2 of 22 matches. Now it's been 6 out of the last 10, and you got to do it with a kid who's been driving for a year. And you got to start strong. Last week against Ottawa, they came out of the gate a little bit slowly. You can't have that happen tonight with your playoff life on the line.
Good job by Ferreira to clear that ball. There was a bit of an ask for a handball on Iose. Referee quickly wrestled away. Ofimu, the player that keeps that ball away from Eugene Starikov. You referenced Santi Moar. He and Matt Mahoney are the guys that have played in the majority of the matches this year for Bethlehem. They are both appearing in their 32nd match out of 33 this year. And a giveaway by the Bethlehem Steel. There you see Santi Moar. He did score in the match here back on May the 19th. He leads this team in both goals scored and assists. 6 goals and 8 assists. That 8 assist number gets you towards the top 10, top 20 in the league in terms of plays leading to goal.
And you can see it. He's got some pace to him. When he explodes and accelerates, he can get into lanes pretty quick.
Outstanding sliding tackle by Ferreira.
Great tackle.
Preventing the opportunity to charge forward by Mache Galina. Galina was signed to a contract in Bethlehem in May. proceeded to score a spectacular goal in his first match for Bethlehem against New York Red Bulls 2, right before they played here. Watson gives it a go, and that ball had some late rise to it, but again, playing such a young keeper, you don't mind taking those early opportunities.
No, and the nice part about that too is it alerts everybody that they're going to pull the trigger from 30, 35 yards out. That causes the back line to have to now be attentive to that, step a little bit higher to press, which is going to open up some lanes and some pockets underneath.
Watson got his first Indy 11 goal in a victory here against Atlanta United 2 back on June the 9th, the oldest member of the Indy 11. He will turn 34 years of age on January 1st. 10 players for the Indy 11 above the age of 30. There is one player on the field tonight above the age of 30 for the Bethlehem Steel. And my partner did the math before the match started.
Yeah, I did. Let me get those notes here.
The average age of the Bethlehem starting 11 tonight is basically 20 years and 8 months old.
I did more math than that. You going to finish it?
Let's see if Collier finishes this chance. Trying to find Seth Moses puts too much on it. Now, if you take their captain in James Chambers, who is 31 out of the mix, the average age for this Bethlehem starting lineup this evening would be 19 and a half years old.
That's incredible. That is, and to think that they've been doing this all season, and they've put themselves in the top 8.
34 players have appeared in a match this year for Bethlehem. 21 have scored a goal. Romero becomes the 35th player to appear in a match this year for the Steel, as Starikov draws the foul. And right now in the Eastern Conference, Bethlehem is the only team that again has a direct affiliate relationship with a Major League Soccer club. They're the only team that is in a playoff position, although the New York Red Bulls have been in a playoff position most of the year and could play themselves back into the playoffs tonight if they get the full 3 points at North Carolina FC. Other two teams in the East have been eliminated and have been for some time. Toronto FC 2 and Atlanta United 2. Nico Mater slots it for Mares. Now to Collier, trying to find a Starikov, but he had broken off his run heading in the other direction.
Yeah, I think Starikov was thinking that Collier was going to slide a ball through to him, and Collier wanted him to check back.
Santi Mawar will play that ball forward, and Mitchell shields Ferris away from it. This portion of the match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. This is one of 4 teams that the Indy 11 play 3 times this year, and it's all done for geographic purposes. But it happens to be that those 4 teams are amongst the best 6 in the Eastern Conference. FC Cincinnati, Louisville City FC, and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And by the way, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are playing each other tonight in a game that obviously has all the implications of a conference semifinal or conference championship match.
Cincinnati, if you look at that, they have not taken their foot off the gas a bit. No matter what lineup they run out there, they've been dominant. They've lost 3 matches out of 32 games.
And haven't lost one since the beginning of summer either. It's been a while since they've lost a match. So on the foul on Mitchell, Chambers stands over the ball for the Bethlehem Steel. Looking back post, put too much on it. Good job by Ferreira to get into the way. You referenced clean sheets, having more of them as of late for the Steel. They also had a clean sheet from a scoring perspective in their last match. A 0-0 draw with Ottawa. And Ottawa, in a quirk in their schedule, has this weekend off. They have one more match left to go. They have to wait until next weekend to see what will happen around them as they try to make their way into the playoffs as well.
That has to be so frustrating. You're just sitting there and you're watching and trying to figure out, you know, how it's all going to unfold.
Select is the official ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com and receive free shipping on orders over $50. Good ball. Good support by Ioze. charging run goes forward. Well done by the steal.
And this is one part of the Steel's game that I think could play into their advantage. They're so young, they're so quick, they're so athletic that their transition game, if they can get out on the run and get out on the break, can be very, very dangerous.
The Steel are one of the few teams that plays on natural grass here in the Eastern Conference. There's enough matches played on turf where that should not be a big transition point for them in tonight's game. And again, they have played in this facility earlier this year, but as is the case with most teams between May and October, a lot of turnover on that roster in terms of who's getting minutes and playing time. Who played here back on May the 19th compared to this evening. The Indy 11 have not lost at home since July the 4th. That was a 1-0 defeat at the hands of the Ottawa Fury.
It's Independence Day, where we broke away from losses at home.
Well, thankfully, the next match was against the Charlotte Independents, and the Indy 11 did get the win by a score of 2-1. So we celebrated Independence Day about 3 days late in Indianapolis this summer. Here goes Galena. Wow. Sends it across, but no deflection there. Goal kick coming for Owen and Fawn Williams.
Man, he just turned the corner of Ferreira.
And Galena, by this team's standards tonight, he was an elder statesman. He's 18. But he has been with Bethlehem Steel for now the majority of the season. For Galena, this is his 22nd match appearance, his 16th start, and he has 5 goals.
Rake, I think if I do the math right, I'm 3 times older than Galena.
You can say that about most of the Bethlehem roster tonight. But Galena is going to be a handful for Indy this season.
I mean, Ferreira is a fast guy, and Guerrera is turning the corner on him every time.
Galena from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And he is signed to a Bethlehem Steel contract. Chambers slides it through for Ferris. Ferris can't get it by Fawn Williams. The rebound can't get by him either.
Are you kidding? He read that perfectly. Ferris took 1 touch too many. Fawn Williams was right on top of him.
Real stumbles as he tries to send it in. But the attack continues for the Bethlehem Steel. Santi Moar taken down by Matt Watson. And now Collier looks for some space to operate with. Chambers asking for a foul, doesn't get it. The veteran wearing the captain's armband. But Bethlehem has had the better of it so far.
Well, we got to see a replay of that. Here we go. Here we go. Look at that ball.
Aronson, the player that pounced on it, had the second opportunity.
What a
right in the chest of
great read. What a great read.
Collier can't make the turn on Josh Yarrow, and then commits the foul on Yarrow. Both those guys were playing college soccer in the not too distant past. Elliott at Loyola of Chicago. Yarrow at perennial collegiate soccer powerhouse Georgetown.
I got to tell you, my adrenaline is still spiking from those saves.
You know, the youth has been on display and in a very good way for Bethlehem. In no way looking inexperienced. They are looking quite talented and awfully aggressive so far in this match.
Look at that ball. Romero just drops the ball into a pocket.
Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indy or any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com today. And Santi Moar grabbing that right thigh, that right hip. And that is a problem for Bethlehem. Just took a bit of a stumble. Again, there's not much room. 70 yards wide is the playing surface here. And not exactly a lot of real estate between that touch line and where the seats begin here at Lucas Oil Stadium. That may be what kind of tweaks something in that hip of his. Moar will try to soldier on as best he can. Moar, 25 years of age and originally from Spain. Alwine Fawn Williams coming into tonight's match, 80 saves. Tied for 5th in the USL. His 11 clean sheets are tied for 4th.
He's just padding his stats then when he makes that double save.
Staricloff flicks it forward, but no Indy 11 players were playing in front of him.
You'll probably remember this. There was some NBA player that was trying to get a number of rebounds, and so he put the ball on the backboard himself so he could grab the rebound.
That would be Ricky Davis.
Seriously? You remember
throwing the ball at his own rim, yes, trying to add to a rebound. It was a very Ricky Davis-like move in his days with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Well, Moar appears to be fine. Moses locked in defensively on him. This is Fontana who sends it in, and Fawn Williams had to track the entire way.
That was so well defended, you know, not just by Seth Moses pressuring the ball, but you got Watson and Ouimet that are tucking underneath for cover. So when Moir looks up, it's like, there's nothing I can do here.
Well, those back-to-back saves by Fawn Williams so far for either side, the only threatening look on goal. And Moses has not been one to shy away from the physicality of any match this season. So far, it has been Bethlehem on the front foot.
Good night.
Series of moves that lead to a corner kick coming for the Bethlehem Steel.
This kid's going to be ridiculous.
And there are certain players playing tonight for Bethlehem that are on Philadelphia Union contracts, others on Bethlehem Steel contracts, and others that are academy players. And when a kid looks that young taking a corner, he's an academy player. They go short with it. Now Chambers lobs it back post. Ioze got there first. By the way, this portion of the match presented by the Root Place. Get it all at the Root Place. Fawn Williams races out to snag that one. All right, if you're the Indy 11, how do you counter this pressing nature of Bethlehem in the early stages of the match?
You've got to possess the ball a bit longer up top, away from your goal, make them spend some of this energy defensively, and really once they do come with the press right here, it's that first ball out of pressure. You just got to stay one step ahead of it, make them run, make them work.
And
otherwise, this happens.
Takes it away from Nico Mattern, but Mattern earns it right back. There's a lot of rookies on this field for the Bethlehem Steel. Mattern's a different type of rookie. 25 years old, from Germany. Played college soccer for 1 year at Indiana Wesleyan. And signed to a pro contract by the Indy 11 based on 3 days worth of tryouts at Grand Park back in February.
He'd be a Grizzly veteran for Bethlehem. Oh, what a turn.
Watson to Starikoff. Flag stays down. Watson trying to switch sides of the attack, but couldn't keep at his feet. Well defended by Fontana for the steal. Space at a premium so far for the Indy 11. Carl Ouimet named to the USL's Team of the Week for his 3rd goal of the season. Scored last week in the 2-0 victory against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. All of those goals have come on service from Ioze. Moar heads it to a spot, but Ferris had broken off his run for the steal. Ioze with 7 assists to lead the Indy 11. We've referenced that Santi Moar has 8 assists. That's tied for 11th in the league. Ioze 7th, tied for 16th in the league. Mahoney. Ferris couldn't get there in time. Carlisle Mitchell got there first. Bethlehem will not play again until next Sunday. They play on the final day of the season. They will play host to the Tampa Bay Rowdies next Sunday at Goodman Stadium at 3 o'clock. And by the time the Rowdies get to that match, they may be out of a playoff position. Tampa Bay has to win tonight. Foul called against Bethlehem. Tampa Bay is in action this evening. Their match, in fact, is just about to get started. So we will be keeping an eye because of the playoff permutations for each of these teams at a variety of scores across the league. As Chambers commits the foul. Chambers from Ireland. Again, he is the exception on this roster, especially those that are playing tonight. He is the man that is long in the tooth for this group, hence why he is wearing the captain's armband this evening. Chambers appearing in his 26th match. All starts. Moses will settle before it reaches the byline. We met. Probably not the ball that he wanted. Mattern will charge forward. Moses, can he get there? Keeps it in play. Mayers didn't get the settle that he wanted to on it. Had to play it backwards, couldn't go forwards.
That's knowing your turf. You know, Seth just knew that ball was gonna hold up. Well, the Bethlehem defender thought it was gonna run out.
Corner kick time for Iose. Fans, you can get the best photography from around the league, plus highlights and updates throughout the week on the USL's official Instagram feed by following Instagram.com/USL Soccer. A variety of targets with Collier in the mix tonight for the Indy 11. Iose, a low line drive. We met goes to the turf. And Moses, the first player back for the Indy 11, he'll play it back to Owain Von Williams. Starikoff is onside. You still have some center backs towards the front of the field right now for the Indy 11. They couldn't get their defensive shape kind of rotated back in position.
Yeah, that's a tough scenario where they've got Seth Moses playing a center back while they're trying to recover from the corner,
which we've seen Seth do this year. Good job by Ouimet, who has played both center back, right back, left back throughout the course of the year. But one of the things that has been so impressive about this team all season long from Indy's perspective is their roster flexibility. Numerous players that can play multiple positions. The one position they have not had to have had any flexibility in, goalkeeper, because Von Williams has played in every minute of every match so far this year. His 33rd start of the season.
Good read.
Ouimet draws the eyes of three different defenders. Now Starikoff. Starikoff with 5 goals on the year in just 19 matches played. Former member of the New York Cosmos. One of 3 on the roster and 2 on the field tonight for the Indy 11. Starikoff has the benefit of a well-timed giveaway. Galena hustles back to track it down. Nothing has come in easy for the Indy 11 tonight.
I can't believe he kept that ball in.
No kidding. And that will be a goal kick.
You know, we talked the last match about how almost flawless the 11 were. Every pass, every touch, everything was just, you know, to the right foot, at the right weight, into the right space. Tonight, just a little bit off, so hopefully they can find their rhythm here as the game moves on.
Credit Bethlehem for that. Now, when Tampa Bay came in here 10 days ago, they had won 4 out of 5 matches. They were playing very well. Ferreira will give the corner. That was not the clearance he had hoped to hit. This reminder, fans, you can catch Soccer Saturday every Saturday morning on 107.5 FM and 10-7 The Fan. This week's show, we talked to head coach Martin Rennie, and formerly of the BYB, now the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the Indy 11, Josh Mason. The podcast is available at 1070thefan.com, and that'll be a foul going against the Bethlehem Steel. Mahoney, inquisitive as to how that was on him.
Yeah, I think he's got something to argue about.
Not sure that's a foul on Indy, but I'm not sure that's a foul on him either. Collier the target deep down the field. Iose.
Wow.
That is standard operating procedure for the Spaniard. Looking for Starikov. Eugene could not keep that ball in play. Great effort to try. Starikov now the second leading goal scorer for the Indy 11 on the year. You see the leading goal scorer on your screen in Jack McInerney. And there are a lot of offensive options on the bench tonight for head coach Martin Rennie. Jack McInerney, Suni Saad, Ben Spees. All players that could factor into the scoring looks, and those are three faces you just saw on your screen for the Indy 11. Remaining subs include Juan Guerra, Brad Russin, Brad Ring, and the backup netminder is Ben Lundgaard, the young man that's on loan from the Columbus Crew. MLS draft pick out of Virginia Tech this past offseason.
Little numbers up on the backside there. Okay, you got Maris dropping back a bit.
Boar goes short to Real. Deflected by Starikov. Fontana couldn't clear Dylan Mayers. And waiting for a signal. It'll be Indy 11 ball. I think Indy 11 wanted a foul. I think Bethlehem tries to figure out how that was off one of their players. And that young man, and Aronson, he too, 17 years of age, playing in this match. And that'll be a foul against Indy. Moar has spent a lot of time on the turf so far in this match.
He's a dynamic player, and that, you know, it's not intentional. It's just he moves so quickly that sometimes you've got a foot sticking into where you think the ball's going to be, and he's already gone.
So Seth Moses is getting a talking to. I don't think he's getting a card yet, but he's basically being told anything close, you're looking at a yellow. By the way, this portion of the match presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. It's been a very impressive display by the Bethlehem Steel so far. Really, it's only merited one great scoring chance that led to two shots that went right into the chest of Owen Fawn Williams. But they have had the better of it, little doubt about that. And the one thing is, they have given their awfully young netminder and Tomas Romero, they've given him 30 minutes to keep his heart in his chest in his first start at this level.
So important.
And look at that transition. There goes Galena. And Ferreira can take no chances as he pounds that into the signboards across the way.
One of the things you look at when you're putting together a game plan is, you know, can our guys execute it, and can they get that rhythm and follow the script? Got a couple guys down.
Yeah, two players down right now for Bethlehem. But Moar applying pressure. And now ball will be played off to the side. So Galena able to, or is the player that is still down. Ferris was the other player that was down and has since popped back up for Bethlehem. But Mache Galena, we have been wowed by his skills so far. And judging by the way he is holding that arm, Could be an issue with that right or left wrist. Looks like that's from the collision with Reiner Ferreira. That will allow both teams to get a quick hydration break. But I haven't referenced this yet in the broadcast. I'm not sure you've had a shot that has looked up, but the roof is closed this evening at Lucas Oil Stadium, despite the fact that it was in the 80s here for early October, which is rare. But the reason it is closed is that there were thunderstorms in the area. In fact, some were projected to hit downtown Indianapolis just before kick time. So if this were the old home of the Indy 11, you and I might not be on the air just yet. The joy of playing at what has an option of being an indoor or outdoor facility.
And we've had a couple of those out
yes.
there where we had one that it like had to get in by midnight or something. We were out there till late, and there was I think that one that was it Tampa with Kyle Highland scoring that incredible goal.
There have been several matches finished after midnight in the first 4 years of the Indy 11, having to deal with rain delays, storm delays, etc. No such problems playing in the great indoors of Lucas Oil Stadium. So Galena, as you can tell, is getting a bit of a rap, and even the trainer looks young for the Bethlehem Steel. Fits the mold of the rest of the team. Galena still on the side, so a man down currently are Bethlehem. Sliding tackle by Ofimu, able to knock that ball away from Seth Moses. Ofimu, 18 years of age. He is a Florida native, and Galena has been brought back on for the Steel. Fans, you can watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season. Stay up to date with news from across the USL, the league's official Facebook page, facebook.com/USL Soccer.
Great turn.
This is Aronson. Now Ferris. Carlisle Mitchell stands him up. We've referenced that Owan Von Williams has been the Iron Man for the Indy 11 this season. But of the outfield players, it is Mitchell. He has played in every match but 2 this year. The native of Trinidad and Tobago. Iose back to Starikov. Now Mater will join the attack. Iose defended by Mahoney. Well scouted by Mahoney. Would not let him go left. Knows that is his obvious and dominant strong foot.
So look at this. Look at this. 17 years old.
17.
Imagine this kid would be doing this on a high school field to high school kids 10 years ago before the DA and the academy system came.
He is from Medford, New Jersey.
That's not fair. It's not fair.
You wondered how young this side was going to be, and frankly, this is a younger group than we saw here back in May. Wondered how that would kind of play out tonight. They look veteran. Not how they look on screen. They look like kids on screen, but they're not playing like kids. And that'll be a foul against Indy.
And you look, one of the things that when you come into a game is who can make the other team blink first. And in this scenario, Seth Moses is dropping back from his front position, almost like a 5th back, helping to cover the wing space that Santi Moar is playing in.
Moar, the quick restart. Miscommunication there between he and Ofimu. Mares. Good work by Moar to win it right back. That was the first potential issue with youth that we've seen in this match for the Bethlehem Steel. This portion of this match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, the IEDC. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. Indy 11 coming to this match 2 points clear of the Bethlehem Steel. Indy with 48 points on the season. Bethlehem with 46. Each team with one more match to play. Bethlehem is at home next Sunday against Tampa Bay. Indy, the short road trip to Louisville City FC. Louisville City knows they're a playoff team. They also know they at least get their first playoff game at home. Giveaway here.
Great
Ferris
touch.
streaking forward. Mitchell couldn't stop it. Left foot, score. Mitchell goes down on the turf. The Bethlehem Steel have an early lead. It is Ferris with the goal. Mitchell, the injured player, down for the Indy 11. And Ferris has his third goal of the season.
And I don't think there was contact.
No, it wasn't.
What a great ball right there.
Grabs that hamstring, which meant Ferris walked in uncontested. And Mitchell has been so much of a rock for the Indy 11 this year. Goes down on the edge of the 18-yard box. There was little that Owain Von Williams could do in that scenario. And Brad Russin immediately starts to get loose. He is the only typical back line player that is available as a sub tonight for the Indy 11. Brad Ring could play that role. Seth Moses could play that role if need be. But there you see the native of Crown Point beginning to get loose and needing to get ready. But he'll enter with the Indy 11 in a 1-goal deficit. So an unlucky break leads to that goal for the Indy 11. But frankly, in how they have played, Bethlehem deserved that goal. They have played that well in this half.
Yeah, the tough part with it is you look at Mitchell, who's been just a workhorse for you on the back line all season, and this is you're getting punched in the face twice here. Not only do you potentially lose the anchor of your back line, but in doing so too, you also are down a goal.
See him grab that hamstring before he can make a play. And again, this has been a quieter period for the Indy 11. We've talked about, 5 and 16 days, 7 and 22 days. They did play 3 times last week, but they're now back to playing really 1 time a week and had some sizable gaps in the month of September. So Brad Russin will be the first of 3 subs for the Indy 11 this evening. Russin making his 11th appearance of the season, 5th as a reserve. And Mitchell will exit. And now your concern for Carlisle Mitchell is more long-term, maybe not even next Saturday, but if there is a postseason. And again, the odds favor the Indy 11 making the postseason, but it's not guaranteed. I think your question now is almost more about the weekend of October 20th more than even next Saturday.
Right.
By the way, the final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
Yeah, the tough part is the way he went down. It wasn't like he was feeling a little tweak, and that could be a couple weeks.
Player down currently for the Bethlehem Steel. Indy 11 yet to play it out. I think Mottern will do so right now. And I believe that is Ferris, the player who scored the goal. Russin, in trying to clear a ball away from him, made contact with his leg. And Russin will check to make sure that he is okay. Ferris, a native of Cameroon. He is 18 years of age. Now, we referenced several other matchups with playoff implications tonight in the Eastern Conference. We will have our Crown Plaza, Indianapolis downtown, out-of-town scoreboard coming up during halftime. But the New York Red Bulls have a 1-goal lead at North Carolina FC. That is basically number 8 versus number 10 in the playoff picture tonight. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati are scoreless. And as expected, Nashville SC, who is currently number 9 as you watch Russin's contact with Ferris from a moment ago. Nashville SC is leading at the Richmond Kickers 2-0 late in the first half. And just underway, Tampa Bay and Charlotte are scoreless. So all of the games that involve potential playoff teams in the East are underway as we speak.
There's a lot of people going to be clicking the USL website for updates. Just keep hitting that refresh button.
Fawn Williams on the restart. Because of a couple of injuries, I'd expect to see a minimum of 2 minutes of added time, maybe even 3 before we get to halftime. So there is still some time to go. Opportunities have been few for the Indy 11 so far. They've had 1 corner in this match. 1 long distance shot by Watson. Ioze will be whistled for a foul. And Ioze's got to be careful. He's not going to get a yellow card for this, I don't think. He'll just get a talking to, but Ioze's been sitting on a yellow card accumulation for a long time. He has now played in 27 of 33 matches this year for the Indy 11, and he missed the opening 2. One of the top players in Olivier Bizot is not on the trip for Bethlehem this evening because he is sitting out due to a yellow card accumulation. There's a lot of people in this building, but they are largely quiet. That is the job the Steel have done so far in this match. Collier couldn't keep it at his feet. Giveaway here. Aronson going right at a guy who literally is twice his age.
And the pressure he's putting on him is incredible.
And this is where we remind you again, they train with the major league team. They train with the MLS team on a daily basis. 5 minutes of added time. So don't go anywhere for a while. Had a couple of injuries for Bethlehem. Obviously the Mitchell injury for the Indy 11. Starikov wasn't happy about that ball from Mamet because he was in an offside position. You see Dylan Mayers. Mayers his 10th match since rejoining the Indy 11. He is now 3rd on the club's all-time appearance list, having passed his old teammate Marco Franco. Marco celebrated a birthday today. Happy birthday, Marco.
What stat don't you have in that head of yours?
Just say it convincingly, people believe you, Brad. Good step by Ferreira. Marco's new team, Penn FC, will not make the playoffs this year, despite the fact that they drew with the Indy 11 here and then beat them in Harrisburg on September the 12th.
They had an interesting season. I think they in the middle of the year, it looked like that they were going to be a contender.
Ouimet finds some safety back to Nico Mater. And Ioze called for a foul. That's Mark Bears, excuse me. That was, by the way, Mark Rennie, you were here.
Yeah,
he had that microphone for a while.
That mic's picking him up pretty good. Love it.
And the 4th official will come over to help. The restart a quick one, as they have been for most of the night. They have played quick in every other aspect of this game. The same applies for Bethlehem and their restarts. And that might be a tactic idea to go. When you have a group that maybe doesn't all practice on a regular basis, just kind of a common theme. All right, boys, we're going to go short, we're going to go quick. That way you know what's coming. And get back to just playing.
Yep. Just keep pushing that pace.
Ferris the target. Ouimet able to shoulder him away. Back line steps up again for Bethlehem.
And that's one of the things that, you know, what you gain with Seth Moses dropping back to the back line is you got some pace and some tenacity. that's going to be hovering around Sante Moa. But what you lose is that extra set of feet that you can play to up top to hold the ball and make Bethlehem defend for a bit.
Corner coming. Fontana and Aronson. Head of the corner flag.
Oh my goodness, what a ball.
Aronson. The volley, and Fawn Williams on the deflection. Had an easy play, but that dime by Moa was impressive.
Yeah, you wonder if that was something that was drawn up or he read that in the moment and played that.
If you're Martin Rennie, what do you change from a tactic standpoint in half number 2?
I don't like taking Seth Moses off the back line right now because I think he is helping on Sante. But I think you need another body up top. There's just not enough pieces connecting up top.
Chambers whistled for the foul. And the restart needs to be a quick one for the Indy 11. Time is of the essence. Final seconds of the half. And you've got a lot of offensive weapons on the bench, but you've already had to make one substitution from a defensive perspective. Mares.
Clever move.
Collier plays it across. Wow. There was an opening back post, but Starikov couldn't get there in time.
And that's a Starikov ball right there. Just a ball that slotted through that he just finds a way to get a foot to.
Eugene scored here against the New York Red Bulls in a 3-0 win back on September the 5th. And he missed the majority of the first 3 months of the season. Native of Ukraine, who spent a lot of his formative years in California. And you would think that once this ball gets airborne, we'll hear the whistle for halftime. And we do. A beyond impressive performance by the Bethlehem Steel. These two teams are 5 and 6 in the Eastern Conference playoff standings. And the team that is winning right now is trying to jump the other one for that 5th seed.
The way they're playing, I tell you, the pace, they got to be excited going into the locker room. And one of the things with a young team, you got to kind of manage that emotion. Hey, it's not over. There's still another 45 minutes. And I tell you what, that's probably why Chambers, that's probably why they got a 31-year-old that's going to be sitting in that locker room right now, rattling some cages and saying, not good enough, not good enough.
Jack McInerney, you might see him coming up in half number 2 for the Indy 11. He does have a goal against this Bethlehem Steel side from earlier this year. Ferris not on that opportunity, but on one that would follow with the goal to put the Steel in front. It's 1-0 at halftime at Lucas Oil Stadium. Indy 11 trailing at halftime to the Bethlehem Steel by a score of 1-0. Bethlehem had a win here on May 19th. The Steel trying to make it 2 for 2, much like FC Cincinnati did earlier this season. Brad, Bethlehem tremendously impressive in the opening 45.
They look great. They absolutely look great. They're clicking on all cylinders right now.
But of course, for both of these two teams, they're also interested in what's happening elsewhere in the USL. And let's focus on that right now. Our out-of-town scoreboard brought to us by Crown Plaza Indianapolis downtown. Let them assist you with your next meeting or event. And the scores remain the same as we talked about earlier. Frankly, for these two teams, they could care less about Pittsburgh and FC Cincinnati because you know they're both going to be playoff teams, and FC Cincinnati is going to be the #1 seed. Pittsburgh in that 2-3 debate right now with Louisville City FC. Nashville would hop up into the top 8 if that result holds. New York Red Bulls, too, would hop up into the top 8 if that holds. Right now, the team that's trying to figure out what's happening to them is Ottawa. A couple of teams might be jumping them based on what happens in this one.
That is frustrating. You know, you can't control your destiny this weekend. You got to sit and watch who's going to pull points.
And by the way, the Rowdies have to win, and Charlotte, there's no combination. They have not been eliminated mathematically yet, but there's no combination of points that will get them into the playoffs. So Charlotte eliminated, not officially, but eliminated from Eastern Conference playoff contention. Now, a week ago when we were last with you, we were a day removed from major news covering not just one level, but 3 leagues under the USL banner. So happy to bring that information to you for a second consecutive home game. So the league that these two teams are playing in will be known as the USL Championship next year. What was being termed as USL D3 will now be USL League One, and that will be where some teams in this league will play next year, like Toronto FC2. Example, our buddy Peter Wilt now running the effort in Madison. They'll be playing in USL League One next year, and what was known as the PDL, largely a summer league of primarily college players, will now be known as USL League Two. And again, the idea is for those that do not follow the sport on a regular basis, it's easy to understand the differences in the levels and the leagues that aren't a part of Major League Soccer. This makes it easier to be a common fan.
Yeah, I think what's great about it is over the last really 3 to 4 decades, professional soccer's kind of been all over the place.
Sure.
This is like a roadmap that connects everything for fans, for players, for sponsors. Just makes sense.
And for the last 2 years, there has not been a league at what would be that USL League One level, that third tier, and that is sorely needed, and it begins in 2019. Now, there is more news around the USL than just the rebranding efforts over the course of the last couple of weeks. Let's show you some other things taking place right now in the USL. Over 2.5 million fans have attended USL games this season. The Tampa Bay Rays are now the brand new owners of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and in case you didn't know, the Rays play about 20 blocks away from Al Lang Stadium in downtown St. Petersburg. And congratulations, the latest new franchise that will announce they're playing in the USL Championship next year, El Paso Locomotive FC. We would expect them to be in the Western Conference, so it might take a championship meeting for the Indy 11 to see them at some point in time down the road. A very busy time around the USL, and that's not even with the playoffs starting yet, which will take place in about 2 weeks from now. Highlights from half number 1 and more come your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV and ESPN+. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health Network. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. Community Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And by Honda, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. By Turkish Airlines, widen your world. And by The Room Place, get it all at The Room Place. And the halftime show rolls along for the final time at Lucas Oil Stadium this regular season. And the Bethlehem Steel looking for a second win in as many trips to Indianapolis. A 1-goal lead here at halftime. We get alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. We'll get to highlights in a matter of moments. But again, I cannot tell you how impressed I know both of us have been about this Bethlehem effort so far tonight.
With that age to play that level of a game, and they were, the passes were on point. The transition game was on point. They defended really, really well. They're an exciting team to watch.
The scoring chances really belong to Bethlehem so far. 2 balls that Owain Von Williams was able to get in front of. A third that he wasn't. 2 saves in quick fashion.
Yeah, just an absolutely great ball by Chambers, and an even better read by Owain Von Williams.
Chambers, a great look. Ferris again had the first blast. It was Aarons that had the second. Sometimes the ball does find you as well, but this is the opportunity they were able to cash in on, and obviously injury does play a factor in the goal.
Yeah, and you wonder if that's just an accumulation of the pace that Indy's having to play at tonight because of the way that Bethlehem is pushing the pace of this game.
And the long-lasting news for the Indy 11 would be if the injury is long-lasting to Carlisle Mitchell. Clearly he is done for the night as Brad Russin has subbed in to replace him.
Yeah, that would be a big loss. Big loss.
Stats from half number one. Possession, again in favor of the Indy 11, but threatening possession goes the side of Bethlehem Steel. One shot, that was the blast by Watson, nowhere close to on target for Indy.
Yeah, and I think the possession, the reason it's slanted in the 11's favor is because Bethlehem is so quick in transition and so quick at getting into the box and getting a shot or having a dangerous opportunity that they don't hold the ball long.
We are moments away from our coaches interview presented by Turkish Airlines. Turkish Airlines, the official international airline of the Indy 11. Turkish Airlines, widen your world. Both teams are back on the pitch and getting ready for half number two. Looks like Martin Rennie is about to be ready with us on the sidelines as well. Let's go to him now. Martin, what was your message to your team at halftime?
Well, there needs to be a lot better than that. It wasn't a half that we could look back on very fondly, but the good thing was we're still in the game, and we've now got to make sure that we don't lose the ball in bad areas. I feel that we were losing the ball too close to our goal. We didn't put the opponent under enough pressure, and we've got to do that. We've got to get them turning a little. We've got to get more pressure in their half, and it's got to be a relentless second half.
Obviously, your substitution patterns get changed a bit by having to put in Brad Russin. Your thoughts about maybe what those next two subs might look like for you?
Well, as it stands, there'll be attacking substitutions, so we'll just have to be ready to make those, and we've got guys who can make a difference, so we'll be ready to do that.
Martin, thanks for the time as always. Good luck in the second half. Head coach Martin Rennie of the Indy 11, and that he does, but with Russin having to enter, you know that at least one of Sooney Saad, Ben Spees, Jack McInerney now will not play in this match.
Right, but I like that. I like the message. Hey, we're gonna go. We're gonna push. We're gonna get the pace of this game. We're gonna press up higher on the field. I think it's good. The other thing, too, is I think there needs to be a little bit better attention to detail. The passes are to the wrong foot. The weight of them is the wrong weight. Things just need to be cleaned up just a little bit to be able to help maintain possession.
So there you see Tomas Romero. Cherry Hill, New Jersey. 17 years old. He really hasn't had to be tested just yet. There was the one late ball across him that Starikoff was the closest player but really couldn't get to. Other than that, just maybe a bit of a heart and throat moment as you see Matt Watson bearing down on you from 30 yards out and letting one go very early in the match.
That may be the good thing about being 17 years old. You don't have the 14-year history of Matt Watson in your head to know that he can dial it up from there. So it might not be as frightening as if you know him.
Good looking ball here by Mahoney. Russin and Wemette back to cover it. And that'll be a foul outside of the 18.
I gotta tell you, Moar, he just causes so many problems. He's already caused an adjustment in the 11's lineup in the way that they want to play tonight. But every touch, every run is phenomenal.
And leads them in goals scored, leads them in assists.
Chances created, shots.
Chambers and Iose going back and forth a little bit.
Dangerous spot.
They've had 4 corners, but in most of the set pieces have not been, frankly, this close where they've even thought about having a look on goal so far. The Walt currently has 7 members of the Indy 11. Iose and Ferreira giving a little bit of space.
I think this is a shot from this spot.
Chambers and Moar. Moar doesn't get through. Well done by Mahoney. But Iose there to take it away. Now can the counter be launched by the Indy 11? Bears, well done.
So clever.
Of course, Dylan played the last 2 years in Miami. Last year in the North American Soccer League. This year in the NPSL. Iose back post. Moses keeps it in play. Mares had a brace in the NPSL championship match to begin the month of August. And a foul on Ferreira. And Ferris down yet again. The Mayor scored in his first match back with the Indy 11 on August the 15th. And we've not seen a card going in either direction yet tonight. But more fouls have been committed by the Indy 11.
Wow.
Iose, not the touch that he wanted, but was able to recover. And Ferreira being bothered by Ferris as he has the entire night. And that's where the veteran status of Iose pays off. And then Galena with a two-handed shove that was completely unnecessary. And now that's got to be a card of some level. How much of a card that is going to be, you don't know. But that is the first time that the youth of Bethlehem Steel has been a detriment tonight. I assume that's a card of some level.
I don't see how it can't be.
Certainly looks like nothing being shown right now. So in future news, two-hand shoves are completely legal in a next match. There was the tumble there. I'm not saying it should be a red card. Don't get me wrong. That's got to be.
I mean, that could be in the conversation.
Right. It's got to be a yellow, right?
Yeah. And you know, you talk about the youth. That's such a great teachable moment right now. And that, you know, you throw the yellow card right now. It's a talking point for you as a coach when you get in. You get on the bus later tonight. You say, hey, okay, do you realize we're up a goal? We're controlling the game. We can't afford anything close to a red.
Either way, the ball does go to the Indy 11. Iose can't keep that ball in play. This portion of the match presented by Community Health and Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. Good tackle by Iose. And rule to be off of Galena. Galena's had a fantastic game. Let's see if that rattles him just a little bit. Mares. Watson. Couldn't keep it at his feet. Off to the races goes Ferris.
Wow.
Russin able to stay shoulder to shoulder with him. Moses couldn't maintain possession. Chambers like to have that ball back. Good read by Moses. And Moses draws a foul. And the stern warning division continues.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those thrown. Yeah, and I tell you, it was a great ball by Seth. He was off. So 2 yellows equals a red. How many stern warnings equals a yellow? Do you have that calculation?
There have been a few, frankly, going both ways, to be honest. So it has been consistent. Iose. Around Mahoney. Looking back post, Starikoff couldn't get there. And well done by Bethlehem to play that ball off Starikoff.
Iose is putting on a master's class in how not to defend him.
But again, that is standard operating procedure from Iose. We referenced this at halftime, but again, the USL made history this past weekend as the league surpassed 2.5 million in total attendance for the season. We thank all the fans who have made this the highest attended lower division season in the history of North American soccer. Of course, the Indy 11 have played a big part of that.
I got to believe 3 million is reachable, because that graphic had to go up before tonight's games. Then you got next week. You got the playoffs.
Jose sends it in. Bethlehem got ahead there first in Chambers. My turn. Not sure expecting that one back, but didn't do something with it. Takes a bending shot. But a great time for Nico's first goal with the Indy 11. At least from the Indy 11 perspective, more of this half is being played in their attacking third than we saw in half number 1.
And that set up nicely for him. A ball coming across on his right foot. He had the screen of the goalkeeper with a couple defenders.
By the way, updating a couple of scores. North Carolina has equalized with New York Red Bulls 2. They are 1-1 in the 53rd minute. And Charlotte has scored twice against Tampa Bay. 2-0 late first half. No foul given there against the Indy 11. Jose off and running yet again. Now Collier, who scored a goal in his last Indy 11 home match. Mahoney able to play that ball off to the side for an Indy 11 throw-in. This portion of the match presented by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future.
It's a good spot for Matt Watson. He does a nice job of turning the corner.
Starikoff, left foot, doesn't get through. Ferreira, and it will be a throw-in, not a foul, as Ferreira and Ferris combine. And again, these are some talented youngsters for the steal, but there are some times where they're getting reminded, as you see Starikoff's look at the other end. They're playing against some grown men tonight for the Indy 11. Sometimes the TIFO comes in handy later in the match. And that'll be a foul against Russell. There's always a point in the match, do you wonder, okay, does how it is officiated in any sport, does it change? Are we kind of hitting that point in this match now?
I think there's sort of an accumulation of fouls and guys staying down, a little bit of chippiness where, and that may be because you didn't throw those cards a little bit earlier, that guys are trying to stretch the limits of, okay, where is that line? And you can't discount the emotion of the fact that these 3 points are massive for both clubs.
Real to take the set piece. Real, all of 19 years of age. Good looking ball, back post. Moses didn't have to touch it. Real got a little too much on it. For standing stats, all the latest league news, be sure to visit USLsoccer.com. Frankly, it is up in the booth here with us as we are watching all of these other matches taking place in the Eastern Conference tonight. Next week, those matches are a bit more spread out because there are going to be at least a couple of matches that have playoff implications on Sunday. Again, the Bethlehem still have one of those when they play the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and if their result does not change tonight, they are likely out of the playoff picture. Indy 11 will play at Louisville City FC next Saturday night. And Louisville City may have their seating wrapped up when Indy visits next Saturday. And that'll be a foul against Moses, and that'll be a card against Moses. So the first card of the match will go to Seth Moses. They had a couple of hard fouls in the first half. So the first booking of the night goes against the Indy 11. And Real drew said foul. Finish the thought on Louisville City. The only thing they are really playing for at this juncture, they're in the 2-3 fight, and the importance of that would be getting a second home playoff game, as Louisville, the defending USL Cup champions. In fact, Bethlehem last year played at Louisville in their opening playoff match in the 1-8 game in the Eastern Conferences. Louisville would take home the cup by beating Swope Park Rangers in last year's USL Cup final at Slugger Field.
So then it comes down to, you take a look as a coach, you have that internal debate and the debate with your staff about, rest versus rhythm. Do you sit some guys and maybe heal up a couple things, or just take some miles off their legs, or do you just keep a rhythm going that you've had all season?
Of course, Louisville has a new head coach in John Hackworth, as James O'Connor landed the gig with Orlando City SC at midseason. Opportunity here for Bethlehem. Ball played across. Fawn Williams able to snare it. Quick restart for Fawn Williams. Right idea, couldn't find Collier.
That's the tough part. You're asking so much of Seth Moses to join the attack when you have the ball and get forward, and then to come back and help with Moar whenever they win the ball. And in this one, the 11 had transition. Seth's transitioning up to the attack, lose the ball to Bethlehem, and then now you got to have Ouimet or Russin step out to cover, arguably with the most dynamic player on the field.
Well, Jack McInerney will be entering this match momentarily for the Indy 11. He is getting some last-minute tutelage on the sidelines, but McInerney, who scored the game winner against Bethlehem back on July the 26th, it appears he will be the second sub of the night. Starikov off to the races. Tries to chip it over Romero. Starikov out of nothing gets the goal for the Indy 11 in minute number 61.
Ayoze hit a dime. Absolutely incredible service.
That wasn't a point. That wasn't an opportunity. That was a thought. Maybe Starikov on the end of this. That he does for his 6th goal of the season.
Unbelievable serve. And what presence to have a look up and see the keeper off his line.
And to that young man, Tomas Romero, kid, the first goal you gave up at this level, I'm not sure there's a thing you could have done about that one.
I'll tell you,
you got beat by a world-class goal.
What a great ball.
And all of a sudden, the playoff picture changes in the Eastern Conference. And McInerney will still come in. Now, again, these two teams were leveled at 1 at about this same time of the game when they played back on May the 19th. That night, it was Prosper Cheluya that had the game winner.
Young mistake. Mahoney thought the ball was going out of bounds, just reached before it crossed the line.
And he's not one of the young guys, one of the older players on the team.
The momentum has swung. I got to tell you, I think going in at halftime playing as well as they did, they took their foot off the gas just a little bit, got caught up a little bit in the chippiness of it. You got two things with the young team knocking you off track a little bit. This is Indy's game if they want to grab it.
Seth Moses out, Jack McInerney in. Of course, McInerney began his professional career with the Philadelphia Union. We talk about all the youth on the Bethlehem Steel roster. Jack didn't have that opportunity because he was playing with the Union at the age of 17 back in 2010. This is his first year outside of Major League Soccer as a pro, and he has been just that, a pro for this team, leading them in goal score with 10.
He's been awesome. He's been awesome. He's left everything he's had on the field every time he's played.
This portion of the match Presented by the Room Place. Get it all at the Room Place. Watson able to find McInerney. Couldn't slide it to Collier. Great read by Mater. Nifty move by Nico. Able to keep it in play.
Yeah, one too many. One too many.
But able to find an escape route to Iose. Last touch off of Iose. You can get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch, online at uslsoccer.com. Now the question is, how does this young group that have played so well all night long, again, it's part of being a young professional, how do you learn from something like that if you're Bethlehem?
Right. You got, hopefully, you got some guys out there that can calm the game back down and find your rhythm.
They've got plenty of veteran options on the bench as well. Guys like Chris Nainko, Aiden Apodaca, and the guy that had the game winner here back in May, Prosper Cheluya, all available for substitution tonight for head coach Brendan Burke. Indy 11 down to one sub remaining here in minute number 65. Hard tackle by Russick, and deemed to be a legal play, and then a foul on somewhat of a retaliation against Bethlehem. And Fawn Williams tells his teammates to get forward as he'll take the restart. Well, that assist by Iose, his 8th of the year, and that puts him now into the top 15 in the league. Opportunity here. Well done by Mayers to get in the way. And Wimet will lead the charge forward. Iose.
Why not?
Looking for McInerney. Couldn't get it to him. Mater as Chambers stumble. Mater for Iose. Iose gives it a go. That ball had some movement to it.
It did.
Romero did a great job at keeping his feet moving.
You gotta like it, because you take a look at what Iose brings almost every time. It is just a perfect serve to the back post. So he thought he'd dial his own number this time.
Iose does not have a goal from the run of play this year. He so rarely looks kind of for his own goal. He's got 3 penalties and a wickedly bending set piece in the 93rd minute of the time to give the Indy 11 a 3-2 lead against the Charleston Battery here on May 30th.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
And again, for Starikoff to have the presence of mind to one-touch that ball, equally good on both halves. It is Drew Skundrich that'll be coming on. Not sure they're going to wait for the corner or not.
I actually thought Moar dribbled over the line himself and then was able to play it off of either Wimet or Russin.
Looks like Aronson to get a player that is exiting, and that young man gave a fantastic effort tonight.
He was great.
Back post had an opportunity. By far the best look for Bethlehem here in the second half. And Aronson, at the age of 17, has just completed his 15th game for the Bethlehem Steel. What level of soccer were you playing? Because for those that know, my partner played for many years professionally in this country and overseas. You were playing for whom at the age of 17?
Oh, I was playing for Park Tudor.
That'd be a local high school for those outside of Indianapolis. Mater gets tangled up.
I thought you were going to ask where was I when I got, or how old was I when I got my 15th game. I'm like, I'm way out of the teens.
You can give that answer.
I have no idea.
If you'd like.
I have no idea.
There you see Skundrich into the game. Skundrich from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And we saw him when the Steel played here back in May. Skundrich appearing in his 25th match of the season for the Steel. Nifty touch by Real. Keeps it in play. That will be a corner. Last touch by the Indy 11.
Little moments like this can break that Indy 11 rhythm and allow Bethlehem to find their footing again.
This portion of the match presented by Delta Faucet. Delta Faucet. See what Delta can do. If the Indy 11 win, they are guaranteed a playoff spot. A point is better than none, just as much because it keeps Bethlehem behind you with 1 game left to go. But neither team exactly content to settle for a draw at this juncture. And we will count up all the fingers and toes we have on staff at the end of this match, trying to figure out playoff points and exactly how things look going to the final weekend of the season.
You've got are there 3 teams that are still in contention that have a game in hand? Still?
Something along those lines. You're the only team that doesn't have a game in hand, or at least equal footing with the Indy 11, is Ottawa, because they're sitting tonight. But there'll be some midweek games that have some implications as well. Yet another quarter coming for the Bethlehem Steel. Back post.
Oh my goodness.
It was there. It was there for Ferris. He couldn't connect. That's the second time in the last few minutes that their service on a corner has been pristine.
They put a ball, and I don't know if it's the screen of the 3 that are on the front post and their defenders that are just blocking the vision of the the backs that are in the 6 for Indy 11, but those last 2 corner kicks have gone right through the 6.
Well, the third sub for the Indy 11 is about to happen, and I'm not sure if it frankly was kind of when they wanted to make it, because Eugene Starikoff is heading the sidelines, and it looks like he's laboring a bit. So Ben Spees will come on to replace Eugene Starikoff. We haven't seen Spees factor in as much as of late for Starikoff, or for any player rather. Spees making his 22nd appearance of the season. But of note for the Indy 11, there's 20+ minutes left to go.
Right.
And if something happens, you're playing a man down the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's tough. But you know, I mean, as tough as Starikoff is, he doesn't ask out. Oh, great ball.
The Spees with 3 goals this year in limited time. McInerney switching up sides of the attack. So we will not see Sooney Sod, Brad Ring, or Juan Guerra this evening. Foul earned by Bears.
Yep, here you go. Bring Iose over.
Iose and Ferreira have a quick conversation as to where this ball needs to go. Dylan Mayer spent part of his high school days at Zionsville High School before playing collegiately at both Indiana and the University of Louisville. Spent his first 3 years as a professional here with the Indy 11. He'll draw that foul. And the taller targets, Collier, we met. Russet amongst that group. And Ferreira.
It'll be interesting to see where Ferreira goes.
And McInerney always punches above his weight class on balls like this too.
Love it.
And McInerney is the guy on the bottom of the wall.
I like him there.
Left-hand side of your screen.
Put something right in the back corner of the 6. You know he can get it.
Skundridge is the player assigned to him. Iose sends it in. Lamette. That's been a great combination on corners. Carl didn't hit that ball the way he wanted to.
Well, he found him. Those guys have connected a lot, and they're on the same page. And just got his shoulder.
Yeah. This Sports the Match presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And corner is ruled. And we're approaching nearly double figures in corners tonight for the Bethlehem Steel. So Bethlehem does have 2 subs remaining. And again, the last couple of corners have led to a great look back post. Ferreira charged with marking Ferris. That was not a great corner from Moore. He's an outstanding player who would like to have that effort back.
And you wonder if the runs that he's had to make have put some fatigue on his legs, because 10 minutes ago he was the one that drove that ball right through the six.
Fans voting for September's USL Player of the Month, Goal of the Month, and Save of the Month began on Thursday, and it continues through the weekend. Be sure to have your say on which players should be taking home the awards by visiting USLsoccer.com. I got an idea for Goal of the Month for October.
Okay, I'm listening.
The last one we saw in this match.
Clever.
Monturn couldn't sneak it past Fontana. And that will be a card. Fontana shown the yellow. First Bethlehem Steel player shown a card tonight. Indy 11 tried the quick restart. Referee says no.
Okay, this is almost a better, even though it's further away, a better restart for the 11, because it lines up better for Iose's
left side. Yep. You're about to see the second substitution come on, and it's Chris Nainko that will come on here. 23-year-old native of Canada. Nainko, 29 appearances this year, but has been something of a super sub. 19 appearances in relief, if you will, and in limited minutes, 5 goals and 4 assists. This is a role that he has relished.
And he's well known to the 11. Coach DeSantos, before the game went up, those Canadian roots, shook his hand, said hello.
So Ferris exits. He has the goal for the Bethlehem Steel. It is Spees that will take this one. And that was last off ahead of the Bethlehem Steel. Not sure if Iose might be kind of feeling that foul a little bit. That's why he had Spees take that kick.
Surprised by that.
Collier flicks it forward. Loose ball. Collier can't get to it. And now Bethlehem will just boot that some 60 yards down the field. And the young netminder in Romero really hasn't been tested all that much tonight. And on the goal that was allowed, there was next to nothing he could do about it. Monturn commits the foul on Nainko. Right idea here. Von Williams wins the race. Beats Skundrich to the ball.
That was a great look. Tiny, tiny, tiny window to put that ball through.
We'll give you an updated batch of scores here in a matter of moments. Only score change since our last update. Nashville has tacked on another in Richmond. The kickers have really struggled since getting a draw here with the Indy 11 on Labor Day weekend. Spees sends it in, but Collier wasn't in position to really do anything with it. Watson steers it in, quickly knocked back to midfield before Russin optimistically sends it down the way. Iose making a run. Spees goes the opposite way. Spees gives it a go, and Mahoney wouldn't let the shot get through. Spees does have a couple of long distance bombs this year for the Indy 11. Fans, you can download the official Indy 11 app now to be the first to receive breaking team news and highlights. Available on the app stores for Apple and Android devices. This is Galena. Help from Iose.
Touch.
There's an opportunity there. Nanko couldn't get there in time. Wow. It was an open net.
It just created off the creativity and pace of Galena.
Corner coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Look at this. Look at this. What a ball.
By the way, tonight's crowd, as expected, the second largest crowd of the season at Lucas Oil Stadium. 14,894. The attendance this evening at Lucas Oil.
Done, Indy.
Only topped by the 17,000 plus in the season opener back on March the 31st. This ball airmails everybody. Ferreira got ahead to it. And a throw in coming for the steal. Fans from end zone to end zone, from corner flag to corner flag, and wrapped around both ends tonight. This will be a record-setting season of attendance for the Indy 11. Average between 10,000 and 8,500 fans in their first 4 years at Carroll Stadium. But that average attendance per game will be well north of 10,000 this season.
I'm excited to see next year, you know, with joining the league late.
Ball sent in back post. Von Williams gets his hands to it.
Good ball. Joining the league late, you got a lot of midweek games that were scheduled. That always impacts attendance.
Watson. That's what makes both the attendance success as well as the on-the-pitch success so impressive by the Indy 11, is that they did this in a span of about 8 weeks. From early January, as you watch Von Williams' latest effort. But to put together a team and go, oh yeah, we're going to switch venues too.
Yeah.
Didn't know they were going to join the USL until very early January. Opportunity here. Von Williams out to make the play. And that will be a foul. Ball will trickle into the back of the net. Von Williams hopefully is all right, and seems to be. And Skundrich, that wasn't even Skundrich, that was Ferreira that made contact with him. But goalkeepers tend to be protected species. There's a collision like that. Play is generally stopped to make sure the keeper is all right. And Von Williams appreciates the assistance. He'd rather the ball not head his way for the next few minutes, just to collect his thoughts. Fans, Indy 11's preferred technology and office equipment provider is Braden. Visit them online at BradenOnline.com. Braden, technology that drives your business.
Wow.
And a foul is whistled on Collier, who thought he was fouled because there was contact that was made with the back of his head. .82nd minute. And credit to Bethlehem, they have steadied the ship after giving up the game-tying goal in the 62nd minute to Eugene Starikov.
And that is impressive, because there was about that 15-minute block in the middle of this half where they looked a little bit scattered, you know, getting into a little bit more chippiness, arguing everything. Oh, good touch.
Great lead by Collier. Mayers, McInerney, right foot, no. Mahoney got in the way.
Wow. Right guy, right spot, perfectly defended.
Nanko could not keep that ball in play. But tremendous build-up by the Indy 11. Take another look. We'll keep our eyes on the field. Bethlehem does have one sub remaining if they feel they need to make a change. The flick by Skudrich. Here comes Nainko.
It's a great touch.
Nainko. Shot. Williams the save. Hawaiian found Williams. He made 2 tremendous saves in the first half. It's his best effort of the second half right there.
That one's worth 3 points right there.
The well-worn path to the corner continues for the Bethlehem Steel. Real. Headed back in. Collier got there next. The volley.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that clicked off on that. They didn't think he'd be able to get up to it.
As the results stand now around the league, the Indy 11 would remain in 5th. Bethlehem would be in 6th. Nashville 7th. The Red Bulls 8th. Both Nashville and the Red Bulls have an extra game to play this week.
Who dropped out?
That would be Ottawa, who does not play until the weekend. So 1 is nice. 3 would be better. Mahoney steers that up into the seats. Player down behind the play. It is Russin.
It's like a hip flexor. Yikes.
He's walking now, and again, the option is either you go a man down or he labors through it. So
I think you got to take a look at where he's at, what he can do. Maybe you put him up front as a target and you drop somebody else back into that spot and just try and play balls into him and see if he can hold it or have somebody run off of him. But you know, if he's immobile, that option's off the table.
Brian Gerlach will wrap it as quickly as he can. The Indy 11 will stay on the attack, a man down. Ferreira, the
oh my goodness.
volley no, Collier no, Mares!
Wow. None of those were great opportunities, and individual skill made them great opportunities.
There was a promotion today for riding a two-wheeled mechanism to the game. Would have been fitting if a bicycle would have been connected on that time by McInerney.
Oh my goodness.
And Merrill's got parallel to the ground trying to keep that one on frame. He has scored some sublime goals in his days with the Indy 11. That would have been his best. Minute 86.
Good serve.
Back post. Ferreira steers it outside of the 18. Great job by Chambers to direct that ball right back to Nainko. Now Galena. Galena couldn't keep that ball in play. Goal kick. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time, brought to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Well, the nearly 15,000 in the building this evening have been treated to a fantastic performance by both teams. Perhaps a fitting result would be a point apiece. Neither teams are concerned with fair. They want all three.
Right, absolutely. Greedy at this point. There you got Russin. There's your answer.
He's playing up top. And that will be a foul against Bethlehem. I think it's a card against Chambers. And what that allows you to do is take another set piece opportunity here. Now again, there's two options here.
That's the veteran too.
It's Ioze. We have seen McInerney as well as Spees hit on balls like this from distance this year. Korsuni Saad is the lead in terms of jaw-dropping goals on free kicks, but we won't see him in tonight's match.
Yeah, 35 yards out. I don't see a shot from here. But I'll tell you what, you know, maybe dropping that in and letting old 6'6" Brad Russin go find the other end of it.
He's looking for his first Indy 11 goal as Brad. It'd be a great time to get it. Iose already has 1 assist tonight and 8 on the year. Looking to deliver another one. Sends it in. Again, back post. Romero is out of his net. And that'll be a foul against Ouimet. So the opportunity taken away by the Bethlehem Steel.
Not a bad ball.
Chambers got there first. Romero made contact with Ferreira, but that's part and parcel of play such as that.
Probably came off his line a little early. I don't think he needed to. I don't think he could reach it.
And it's his first game at this level. The other 2 keepers that have played in all the matches up to this one, both on Philadelphia Union contracts, in McCarthy and McGuire. And it looks like Michel Galina's night is over with. He shakes hands with Iose, who he had a bit of a scuffle with earlier. Omar Holness will be the 3rd and final sub of the night.
Substitution for Bethlehem Steel, Indy, 90th minute.
There's a lot of names you can remember from here, but Galina's one you should put in your memory bank. That kid is going to make a difference.
Holness, his 9th match of the season, was with Real Salt Lake a season ago. Native of Jamaica. Collier now drops back a bit because Russin, with that injury, forced to play forward. Russin saying, give me the long ball. Iose, give me an opportunity. We'll see added time in a matter of moments. Mattern finds his way around the defender to Iose. Now Speeds.
There it is.
Russin couldn't get to it. And that'll be a foul on Mattern. 4 minutes of added time in tonight's match.
4 minutes added to the second half.
Clever ball.
You had both Collier and Russin kind of in the same general area.
That's like 13 feet of human.
And if this result stays the way it is, Indy and Bethlehem will be following the results of Nashville and the New York Red Bulls 2. Again, they both have a game in hand after tonight on the 2 teams you see playing on your screen. If this result holds, one team that the Indy 11 knows they will finish in front of is Ottawa Fury FC.
Not again.
McInerney, one touch, blast. Couldn't keep it on frame.
That's just, that is incredible.
The precision passing of Iose continues.
It's the ability to drive the ball. It's the ability to get it right over the defender. It's the ability to find the space for the attacking player right in stride.
Just couldn't keep it down. McInerney scored a 93rd minute goal not that long ago. August 29th in a 2-2 draw with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And that was the last time that McInerney scored a goal. In the return visit to Pittsburgh on September the 22nd in a 3-2 Indy 11 loss. Headed that ball away. Skugridge. Ferreira knocks it free outside of the 18. Mattern. Speeds to Mares. Mares to McInerney. Volleys it towards the edge of the 18, and headed down for a corner kick. And Jose, you see him on screen. Calm down.
Tell you,
I got this.
That's a tough ball to try to head back to your keeper. You gotta have your head staring straight up for so long. You can't tell where pressure's coming from.
And I think that's why he's headed it over the bottom. I think that was over the touchline. I could be wrong about that, but that was just headed down to play it safe. So this is where Ouimet has been such a favorite target of Jose as of late. Another one of those regular targets in Carlisle Mitchell, injured and out of this match.
Yeah, but if you're writing the story, it's Brad Russell. You got to find him.
Ten in the box for Bethlehem. Jose sends it in, up and over the bar. It was Ouimet. Ouimet looking for his 4th goal of the season. Now, I'm not sure there will be another opportunity in this match. The BYB helping count time before the restart is given. And that's it. Right at 4 minutes. Both teams get a point. So the squads split their 3 matchups on the season. Both teams get a road win. The 2 teams draw in match number 3. So the Indy 11 sit on 49 points. They remain in 5th place in the Eastern Conference, and we'll be doing some scoreboard watching for the rest of the night to see exactly how this plays out. We'll wrap up our broadcast after this quick timeout as you're watching Indy 11 soccer here on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus. Well, Juan Fon Williams certainly did his part this evening for the Indy 11. We hope to talk to him during our Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show. We also hope to talk to the goal scorer for the Indy 11 tonight in Eugene Starikoff. Another moment of brilliance from Jose, and that was enough to give the Indy 11 a much-needed point, trying to wrap up a playoff spot in their first season in the USL.
And you've seen, especially in the second half of the season, more guys making that backside run. And that comes from the time of seeing Jose do that time and time again in games and in training, that they just know, hey, if the back line is unbalanced and I make a run into this space, that guy can get me the ball.
So final home match of the regular season. The Indy 11 will not lose a match at Lucas Oil Stadium after July 4th this year. They know there will be a match in Louisville next Saturday, and hopefully more that will follow. A closely contested game. A point was earned on this moment of brilliance from Jose and Eugene Starikoff. As always, thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United